for me, it is one community in Paris, but as Paris is a big town, we need two centers so that everyone in Paris can reach a center when there is a majlis.
You are quite young to be a president of Jamaat. How was that received by the community? In what way do you see your community move forward?
One of our challenges is to involve the young people, the young members. So my objective, the target, is to involve a lot of young members were involved in this new committee. They will be the leaders in the future.
Absolutely. As a youth living in Paris, what do you see is the biggest challenge?
The marital issues are leading to questioning about KHOJA identity. CoEJ is doing a great job on that, World Federation as well. But I think it's very important to focus more on who we are, where we are coming from, and where we are going.
All Jamaats have politics. Politics is something that I think as KHOJAs we're quite expert at. Have both of you ever had conflicts between you?
Not at the moment.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the KHOJA Konnection podcast, and I'm your host Durain Hirji. Today we're going to be talking to three amazing people. These people have traveled from Paris, and we're going to talk to them about the challenges that they have received in their communities in Paris North and Paris South. They have been very honest with us today, very vulnerable, and I love how they have cooperated. But I'm going to leave you to watch the podcast and to see how these leaders have worked together. Assalamu alaikum. How are you all?
Alaikum salam.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
You guys had a long day. We had a long day today at the World Fed conference. I know it's really late. I'm very grateful for all three of you to have made time at this late hour. But, you know, I think that we have a lot to talk about. This podcast, which is KHOJA Konnection, is all about growing through conversations. So I know you guys have come from Paris. So who's who? Who's in the south? Who's in the north? I know that there's two Jamaats there. Can you briefly introduce yourselves? Starting with you.
Yeah, Assalamu alaikum. So my name is Sujat Kasamchinay. I'm from Paris North Jamaat. So I'm the president of Paris North Jamaat.
Excellent.
I will let Rizwan.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So my name is Rizwan Jafar. I am the president of Paris South Jamaat, Mohammadi Mbambara.
Okay.
And Assalamu alaikum. My name is Kamil Iriji. I am a member of Paris South Jamaat, and I was appointed by President Rizwan as nominated councillor for Council of European Jamaat.
Wow, amazing. So it's beautiful to see that we have both representations here, South and North. My first question to you is, how is the relationship going between North and South? How's the connection between the two?
So I will say when I come to France, because I'm from Réunion Island, so I come to France for study. So first I was in Toulouse, and then I go to Switzerland, and then I come to Paris. And when I come to Paris, I was first in South Jamaat, because I was doing an internship close to the south. So I spent 6 months to the south, and then I stay there as a madrasa teacher during 6 years. And when I moved to North Jamaat, so then I began to involve in the Jamaat and became president. So there, for me, it is one community in Paris, but as Paris is a big town, so we need two centers so that everyone in Paris can reach a center when there is a majlis.
Wow. Excellent. Yeah, you do need more than one center. How do you feel?
Yeah, I think each Jamaat has his own specificity, his own event. So each Jamaat is working, and the management is done by the committee and the president. But we are a connection. We have a connection, and we are coordinated main events. For example, when there is a wedding, one Jamaat, the center is closed, and the other center is open for the all Parisian members. So everybody is going to only in one center.
Wow, so there's beautiful collaboration between the two Jamaats to make sure that everyone can see each other, meet each other, and also, not to create a divide between the two, which is amazing. Sujat Bhai, you are quite young to be a president of Jamaat. How did you make the decision that, okay, I want to lead the Jamaat, number one, and number two, how was that received by the community?
In fact, I was struggling in my journey. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, Surah Mu'minun, verse 115, that we have not created you for nothing. We all have a reason to live. So I was thinking about what is my reason, and I wanted to implement something for my community. So I begin with madrasa, and I think that we can change the community with children. So that's why I begin with madrasa, and then I started to think how I can have a bigger impact, and reflecting about that. So I decided to become president, and Alhamdulillah, I have the full support of the past president of my Jamaat.
Excellent. So I love that you mentioned about purpose, because absolutely, I think each human being has a purpose. And the fact that you made this your purpose, and you quoted the Quran, I find that really inspirational, because, some people do things, they don't know why they do things. So that, I love that about it, How about yourself? How long have you been serving the community, and what made you take that step?
So I was elected in January. But the two former presidents, they have done a global of 24 years during the mandate of these two presidents, 24 years. So it was a kind of transition, and maybe we'll talk later about challenges, but one of our challenges is to involve the young people, the young members. So my objective, the target, is to involve, and a lot of young members were involved in this new committee. So it's a kind of transition to involve young people, and they will be the leaders in the future.
Absolutely. And I want to talk about the youth in a little while. But before that, I wanted to ask you, what is it that you're planning to do which is different from what has already been done? In what way do you see your community move forward?
So I think the main point is to as I say, to involve the young people, and to have, they are dear, to have their strategy. We will work together, and to be able to this transformation, and we won't work like the former under the old committees. So it's a challenge to have their new needs, their new challenge, their new ideas, in fact, to take them and to try to work with these young people.
Wow, absolutely. You're Camille, let me bring you. You're a youth. What do you see? What do you want your president to bring forward and to really change?
The main thing I can see with Rizwan uncle, which is amazing, is that he's gaining he has an amazing popularity in our Jamaat, because just as a reminder, when he was elected, it was with more than 95% of votes. So it's like very good. And then he decided to appoint young people in each area. Even as an example, one of his vice president is 32 years old. So it's very motivating for us as young people to participate and to help the Jamaat in different areas and different fields. And if I can just add something regarding the previous question, the collaboration between the two Jamaats is something that I am seeing every time, because there is one committee between the two Jamaats, which was not mentioned, but which is handling the burial processes and everything. So when I am participating, for example, in ghusl, kafan, and all the rituals for the mayat, it's common to the both Jamaats, and they are helping each other. So it's very motivating for us to see that everyone is working together.
Wow. No, it's beautiful to see that. And 95% is a huge popularity, huge success, actually. And actually, I can see the fact that he's even selected you as being a youth representative for CoEJ it shows that the change is already happening. And obviously you're also a youth as well. So I can see that there's actually quite a few youth involved within the team, within your community. As a youth living in Paris, we all know the difficult times that we are facing in Europe, especially in France. How do you see, both of you, if I ask both of you the question, and then I'll ask Rizwan Bhai as well, what do you see is the biggest challenge for us Muslims and young Muslims?
Please.
Okay, so I think a big issue is about family issues. You know, divorce, marriage, also bring children to the center, and all these issues is very important, and moreover in Western countries, because you know the family model we have in Western countries is not very aligned as the model we promote or we want to promote. So this is a big issue. Now you see that the main model is not a classical marriage with mother and father and two children. It is an old model in Western countries. Now the new model is two partners, no marriage, and now they don't want children, or if they want children, they want it very late. So this is an issue. And we have to also in this environment there is some influence, you know, and so you have to handle divorce, you have to handle this kind of issue. So we try to work on it, and for example we adopted a new marriage contract in our Jamaat. It's an example. Or the second example is that we set up a marriage formation for new couple before nikah, and about the children attendance in our Jamaat. So we set up a room for moms so that they can feel comfortable when they come to the mosque, and they don't fear to disturb other people.
Absolutely. That's amazing. It's amazing that you're doing something about it. And I think that divorce and the family setup is something that, you know, is a big issue in the European family. It's sort of the Muslim living in Europe, you know, family setup for sure. What would you say as a youth is...
I think there are two areas mainly where I can see that there are we cannot say issues, but challenges. The first one I would say is regarding the faith. Regarding the face today, I have lots of KHOJA friends from the community, and some of them are following alternative thinking, others are following the classic path. I mean, everyone has their own thinking, but the main thing here is to put everyone together and to make everyone agreeing together, or think, even if they do not agree, but to allow everyone to be free and to respect each other and so on. So for me, the first challenge here for the youth is, and it is also linked to the attendance of the center, because if they do not feel that they are valued, for example, in the center, or if they do not feel that their ID is explained in the center, then they will not attend, of course. And the second thing I think is linked to, for me, the KHOJA ID. Because today, due to what Sujad Bhai just said, the marital issues are leading to questioning about KHOJA identity. And I think it's very important, and the CoEJ is doing a great job on that, World Federation as well. But I think it's very important to focus more on who we are, where we are coming from, and where we are going.
Absolutely, yeah. So the whole journey, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah. What about you? I mean, you kind of seeing the youth from, a few years ahead now that, what do you see is a problem, challenge?
I think for me, the main challenge is the mixed couple. We have more and more young people married, but the one of the couple is not Gujarati speaking, non-Gujarati, and we have to handle this kind of this specificity. That is to say, maybe we have to do some majalis in French. We have to handle the non-KHOJA aspect, and we have to manage this situation. Not only the couple, but also the children, the future children they will have. So madrasa must handle this specificity. So this is what we are seeing at the moment in the Jamaat, and we'll see more and more this kind of situation.
Yeah, I think it goes well with what you said about the fact that there probably is a loss of KHOJA identity. And the fact that France is a very sort of secular state in that it doesn't allow religion, and even in schools, I know that we're there's certain things that are not allowed, and our children are going through that system, coming out the other side completely brainwashed as well. So what are you planning to do to deal with that? Because look, at the end of the day, once they're married or once they're together, there's nothing you can do because they've now chosen their partners. The fact that they're bringing their partners to the center is a good thing, and maybe there's an opportunity there. So you mentioned about perhaps having a language change from Gujarati to French to bring them. So is that something you've started, you're planning to start? Where are we on that?
We are doing some majalis in French. This is the first decision. This is already in place. But also we must have other events apart from religious event. That is to say, maybe sports, maybe specific events on a specific topic, some seminary, some presentation. That is to say, the non-KHOJA partner will be involved in such event. So this is what we are doing at the moment.
Okay. What about in your region?
Yeah. So in my Jamaat, so I have the advantage that and in both Jamaat is the same case, but we have a wonderful sheikh. They are very close to the youngster, and they have built a big relationship with them. So thanks to that, they can bring them in the mosque, and with the relationship that they have built, they can deliver to them some teachings. It's another kind of tabligh, but as they have building a big relationship. they continuing to do tabligh with that. And for example, our Sheikh Moise is playing with them football every week. Is playing with them pétanque, and so they talk to each other. So it is a big rahmat for us, you know. So that's one answer. A second one, what we have trying to do is to give them the maximum liberty to do what they want to do. If they want to organize an event, so Bismillah, if there is under the Shari protocol, you can do it, and we don't stop their willingness to do something for the community or for themselves. So we give them this liberty.
Yeah. So I love what you're planning, changing some of the, program languages. You also mentioned that having sheikhs that are approachable, with whom people, the youth can get close to, and you also mentioned sports as well. I know that here in London, specifically in the UK, sport is a huge element of bringing the youth together and bringing the community together as well. So that's really encouraging, actually. Have you started seeing the results through these different things that you've started?
I think so. Because when you do head count and you see the attendance in each majlis, I see that there is more young than old people, and I see that. So I think that there is some fruit of this action.
Yeah, absolutely. What about in your Jamaat as well?
So I was elected very recently. So,
yes.
But the point is that during my Ramzan, there was much more people, much more affluence, much more members who were at the Majalis and at the Dars and at the Iftar. So, and young people especially, coming from the work, and they came directly to the masjid. So I think it's we are in the right way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I love that you've brought Camille as well within the CoEJ element as well, because sometimes when you're in trouble you need help. Right?
Of course.
You need help from people who are experienced, from people that have operated in different other Jamaats. So how has CoEJ helped you? And how?
Camille, you want to answer?
Okay, so if I'm doing just a rewind a little bit about CoEJ in Paris, first, my opinion is that CoEJ was very focused on UK at the beginning, I mean. And then what happened is that Salim Bai's predecessor, he started integrating new hobbies from France. So this decision came that one member of Paris South, actually my father, Arif Hirji, he joined the hobbies of CoEJ. And this this point make the start of the new collaboration between CoEJ and Paris North and South, actually, because if I may, on behalf of Sujad Bhai, the CoEJ helped us in many ways. Really, from all these years, we can, for example, speak about our attendance on MAMT tournament. We can speak about the organization of UNCP tournament in France, which gathered so many teams from Dar es Salaam and everywhere around the world. We organized the tournament with the help of CoEJ. CoEJ is also coming in our madrasa in complement to the MCE with Spiritual Academy Network to help teaching our teachers in madrasa. There are so many things in which different areas For example, there is the Imam Reza Hardship Fund, in which the CoEJ is targeting the weakest, the vulnerable people from among our members, which is quite brilliant, I would say. So there are lots of things in which the CoEJ is already helping us, and it's working in both ways, because since that, then we can see that today on Salim Remtullah's team, there is an OB, which is Naim Vali, coming from Paris South. There is an attendance of nominated councillors from both Jamaats coming in each meeting of CoEJ. So it's in both ways we are trying to...
So there's a lot of engagement now,
much
thanks to the integration of the sort of French-speaking within
Exactly,
CoEJ,
exactly.
which has probably opened a lot of doors for you as well.
Exactly.
And absolutely. There's one question that has really been on my mind, which is, how do you feel about, even though there are sheikhs and Maulanas and things like that, do you feel that the faith has
decreased
in the French Muslims?
For me, I would say I'm not sure. You mean in the French, like francophone, only in French speaking?
In Paris.
In Paris, I would say I cannot say that it's decreasing or increasing, because we can see, as I told you just before, I think there are lots of alternative thinking processes now, with sheikhs saying new things, think differently, outside the box, I would say. If it's good or not, this is not for me to judge, but there are other things. So we cannot say that because people are not doing the same as 10 years before, then it's becoming less in terms of faith or engagement towards religion. But it's different. So it's a reality that both presidents are handling today.
Yes. So I want to hear from both presidents.
Yeah. So, Bismillah.
No,
Okay. I think that there is two things we can see. So it is the faith and the manifestation of the faith. I think in before, people seems to have a very strong manifestation, and with a cultural event or cultural manner to express their faith. And now it is changing. So it is a different way to express their faith. That it doesn't mean that they have less faith than before, because I think each generation face the same issue and the same journey towards God. But it is a manifestation that is different. But what I can see, and I think it is a challenge for tomorrow, is the lack of attention of children. Maybe due to social media, they can't stay in front of majlis more than 10 minutes or even 5 minutes without looking at their phone. And I see the same thing with older people.
Yeah.
So I think it is a challenge that will come, and the result of maybe overutilized social media, it is that they don't have the time to think and to contemplate God's creation, because they are always stimulated by social media, and when they have nothing to do, so they want to come back, and there is no time to do nothing. And I think this is a big issue, because when you don't have this time, you don't have creation in your mind, in your brain, you don't have motivation, and also you don't have time to think about the purpose of your life.
Yeah, that's a very good point you make there. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I think it's a different way to to manage this phase, because today there's a lot of majalis on YouTube. So the people, members, they want to have different majalis coming from different alim in different languages, sometimes Gujarati, sometimes in English. So they want to open and to see different things. And according to this different thing, majalis or event, specific event and so on, they will be able to much more to agree to this and to have a face which is increasing, in fact. So it's a different way.
Yeah, I think as I was saying on a different podcast, I think the youth really want to learn. There is a thirst of the knowing who you are. Who am I? Why am I here? Why have I come to this, earth? So the questions are there. If the questions are there, then are we there to give them the right answers at the right time? Or is somebody else coming in the way and giving them the answers that they want to give? So the timing of it is crucial. But I think definitely, I think that the opportunities are there for us to utilize that. But I do believe that perhaps the French culture is also infiltrated the kids slowly. Another thing you mentioned, Rizwan Bhai, is language. Yeah. I know that Madagascar had called Syed Omar Nakshwani recently, and it was a huge success. A lot of people really benefited. I myself was there at the time during Ramadan in Madagascar, and I saw the thirst. People were asking all sorts of questions. And actually, people thought that maybe English, who will understand in a French environment, but actually it was very well received. Is that something that you're thinking about, or is language a barrier?
I think young people are demanding such a kind of event, as you said. In English, there's no English barrier, because in our Jamaat, I think it's the same in the north. So the Jamaat, people under 50, they are talking in English. They can more or less speak in English, more or less understand English. So if there is a majalis coming from an external alim, very very famous alim speaking English, they will agree. So I think it's a way to involve the young people and to be sure that they will come in the center. They will come in the center.
If I may add something
please.
On what Rizwan Uncle said, we already organized in Mohammed Imam Barga Paris South, and even in Paris North they had also, in collaboration also we organized, we had some programs with renowned sheikhs, like for example we invited already Syed Amar, we invited Sheikh Hilli, we invited Sheikh Nuru. Sheikh Nuru is also coming again on Miladun Nabi event normally in September in Paris again to do majalis. And also we are doing time to time the committee of Rizwan Uncle and with both Sujad Bhai also, they are organizing a Zoom meeting with sheikhs such as Azhar Nasser or Sheikh Hasnan Rajab Ali. We are doing this and it's in English, and we are doing live translation in Gujarati. So even the elders, they can attend to this event online, or they can come and we have the translation directly in Gujarati. So really, I think the audience is here. For Syed Ammar, the full was crowded. It was
crowd
like
was full.
Crowd was full
absolutely,
and completely,
absolutely.
So,
Sujad Bhai, you want to add something to that?
I just wanted to add that I think that the language is not a barrier. But you have to address all the Jamaat people, all the people in the Jamaat. So, for example, in Muharram, Ashri Muharram or Ramadan, we have to have someone that can address all the people. So we have a Gujarati alim in Ashri Muharram, in Ramadan. But in when there is an occasion, in other occasion, we also take the opportunity to invite other alim with For example, Said Omar came also to South Jamaat, but also in North Jamaat 2 years ago or 3 years ago. He stayed 3 nights, and because we know that we can address, for example, just the young people at this time, and there is no other event that can
Fair. Interfere, no?
that interfere, that interfere with our classical events.
Yeah, so you're trying to cater for all the needs of the community as a whole. I must say, I'm really impressed by seeing how united you guys are, because there's not many of you how many people have you got in each of your Jamaats?
In North Jamaat, we have 550 people.
550.
550.
In the South Jamaat, we are 900 members, and more or less 500 or 600 coming regularly.
Okay. So let's say about, 1,500 roughly altogether, and you're trying your best to keep it together by collaborating, by finding new ideas. I find that really impressive. Not many Jamaats are so progressive. I must say, I'm really impressed by seeing that you guys are working so closely together. It's very encouraging, actually. All Jamaats have politics. Politics is something that I think as KHOJAs we're quite expert at. How do you deal with politics? How do you make sure that it doesn't pull you away from your mission? If I start with you.
The main challenge for me in our Jamaat is to have the unity of the Jamaat. First, inside. I'm not talking between North and South, but inside the Jamaat. And I think with the new committee, the new dynamic we have, I think we are on the good trend. And also we are working with Zadbai, president of the North Jamaat. We are working to be sure that we have the coordination, the necessary coordination. I said just before during the wedding, when there is a wedding, we try to close one center and to have all the boss Jamaat member in one center. So that's the way we are talking.
The unity
we're working.
element, yeah. How about you? What would you say?
I think that in our Jamaat, we have the chance that everyone is concerned about the Jamaat. So there is no politics in the way that they want to put a barrier for someone because they don't like him or something like that. No, they are all concerned about the Jamaat, and everyone think about the what is the interest of the Jamaat. So when you understand that, you have just to sit down around a table and to explain that what we want to do is in the interest of the Jamaat. And if everyone understands that, so no one will put a barrier. Everyone will help you to do what you want to do.
What you want. But is that actually happening, or is that just a theory? So in practice, does that actually work out that way?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How, has leadership for you been how you wanted it to be, how you envisaged? When you start a role, you have certain vision of what it's going to be like. And then when you're in the role, suddenly it's a different ball game. How have you experienced that?
In fact, to be president of a Jamaat is difficult because you have to manage daily issues. And when you begin, one day you have an issue, and another day you have another issue, and it's continuing.
It's ongoing.
It's ongoing. So sometimes you don't have time to come back to your vision and what you want to implement. And that's why it is good to have some meeting with our CoEJ Jamaat and World Federation Jamaat. And when we have this meeting in CoEJ, for example, so we see that other Jamaat have the same issues. And and we come back to our vision, and we see what is the best practice of other Jamaat. And when you come back to your Jamaat, so your motivation also come back.
Yeah.
So the difficult thing is to tackle with daily issues, and to not forget your what you want to implement.
Yes. What about you?
I was aware of operational aspect because I was vice president 8 years ago. So operational aspect, I know more or less this aspect. The new thing was the strategy of the president, the vision of the president. This is something new for me. So the main point is to have to work with the committee as on a collaborative mode. That is to say, to handle these needs, to understand what they want, to discuss with them, and after that, I take the decision and define a strategy. So we have a operational issue, strategic aspect, financial issues. So we are talking with the committee, young people involved in the committee, and we are trying to define this way, this vision, this strategy.
Have both of you ever had conflicts between you?
Not at the moment. Not yet.
Not yet.
Not
Well,
yet. But I was elected 6 months ago. So, but not yet.
Not
Yeah,
yet.
not yet. When did you get elected?
I was elected in 2020.
Oh, so you've been there for a while now. Oh wow. Okay, so you know the role very well. Oh, that's amazing. So hopefully it stays that way, because I really can see that you guys are working really well, which is really nice. What attribute did you build within yourself through this role?
In fact, I was a shy people. I was shy, but I work on myself to try to show people a vision. And this is, I think, the most important thing, because you can have best ideas, but if you can't share your ideas with others, it will not work. So you have to share your vision first. You have to share your vision, and so people understand what is your vision, and say, okay, we have to help him because it is in our vision also. So I think it is a thing on what I work also.
So communicating your thoughts properly, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent. Camille, you've been in a position of leadership as well, through CoEJ as well. What have you developed within yourself?
I would say open-mindedness, because more open-mindedness, if I can say. Why? Because when we are attending, for example, CoEJ meetings, and exactly online with what Sujad Bhai said just before, we hear other Jamaats talking about their own issues and how they are dealing it, what happened, and it allows us to think broad. I mean, and then after those meetings, when we are discussing with the executive committee from Paris South regarding those things, then maybe it's information that can help every one of us to move forward. So it's kind of open-mindedness, and then CoEJ is also with discussions with CoEJ. We have a wider view of how community works and how actions from grassroots, like for the grassroots, are made.
Yeah. So better open-mindedness, a better perspective as well.
Better perspective, understanding.
And understanding, absolutely. What about you? What's the one? I know you've just been elected in January, but it's been a few months now.
Maybe I will use a word in French.
Yes, please.
It's être à l'écoute. That is to say, to understand, to hear, to hear the different point coming from the committee or coming from the members of the Jamaat, and at a certain point to decide.
Wow.
Because the president has
to decide,
at least
yeah.
at the end to decide, to take a decision. So there is two aspects. The first one is to try to understand what is coming, what idea is coming on the table, and at the end to decide.
Wow.
This is two aspects, and sometimes difficult to decide.
Of
but
course,
we
it's
have
difficult. Yeah, I can imagine. So active listening, really
Yeah.
hearing what the other person is trying to tell you, and also having that decision-making ability, which actually, many leaders may not have developed, and you develop that through the journey of leadership.
We have to.
Absolutely. So communication, articulating your point properly, open-mindedness, seeing different perspectives, and a different view, basically from a different angle, and being at the service of your community, hearing them, and really actively listening to see what is the needs of the community. These are really important things that I'm going to be taking away as well. And how would you encourage people who want to get into the leadership position, and maybe they're hesitant because of politics, because of judgments, the fear of being judged? What would you say to them now that you're on this side of it, that to encourage them?
Maybe I'll try.
Yes.
My first point is to say, try to join the team, try to join the committee, work with us, work with the president, and just understand what is a Jamaat, what is the management of a Jamaat, what is the management of a team. And if you like it, then you can progress. And we will try to give you the opportunity to progress in the Jamaat. So try, and then you will see.
Yeah, give it a go. Absolutely. Yeah. What would you say?
I will say that our goal is to prepare for Imam Zamana and to reach God. But to reach God, we have to involve in some kind of work. So maybe it's not a Jamaat, for example. It can be other thing. But every individual should think of how he can help our Imam Zamana, and how they can help to reach God. So maybe it's not their answer is not to become Jamaat president. I don't know. They can have other answers. So it's not a necessary path, But it can be also a position that can help to share also their love for Ahlul Bayt to other people.
Absolutely. So to be at the service of the 12th Imam and connect with Allah as a result of it. So use this as a tool to reach God, and also give it a go, because until you don't try, you don't know. Yeah. But hasn't this leadership experience been a beautiful one in terms of growing yourselves as individuals, in terms of changing who you are, and even through the challenges? I mean, if I ask you to describe in one word the growth you have experienced, one word, what would you say?
It is a very difficult question in one word. I don't know. I think journey.
Journey.
It is a journey.
Absolutely. It's a journey. What would you say?
Maybe the president has a specific role. He represent the Jamaat. So in each, I will say representation.
Representation. What would you say, Camille?
Maybe I would say sharing, because every work, every task we are doing in those area, even if it's like foreign affairs, like what I'm doing, we are sharing. Every time we are sharing, I'm sharing info with the president, I am sharing with other Jamaats, I'm sharing with everyone. And it's important to share so that we can all grow together.
Sharing is caring. I always say that to my children, but actually it's the truth. Actually, when you share something that you've learned, something that you've gained, and put, sending those vibes across and sharing those information can be so powerful for learning, isn't it? Just before we finish, I want to ask the both presidents. I've already asked you, Camille in a previous conversation. What does connection mean for you? Because this beautiful podcast is called KHOJA Konnection, and so the word connection is very important in our KHOJA world. What does it mean for you?
I think we are KHOJA, and this thing. And what is KHOJA? What does it mean? It is a big question, but when you talk about connection, we know that KHOJA have strong relationship to each other, and it is a fact, and we have to keep this connection. We have to keep this relationship, and it is a strong and powerful relation tools that we have, and to keep this connection. So you talk about what this connection mean. So this connection is to keep this relation alive, and to continuing to share with each other.
Excellent. What about you?
For me, it's a relationship, I will say, but we have different links. It can be a family links, because one is the same family, closely or much bit far, or also business link. We can have also business link between all the KHOJA, and I know that some KHOJA coming from France are working with Madagascar or are working with England and so on. There's also business link between all the KHOJA.
Absolutely. I mean, I myself, I'm related to definitely the two of you, and maybe you, who knows, right?
That's right.
So, and the last thing I'm going to ask you to do is, if you had a message that you want to give your community in whichever language you want, you can do it in French, in English, whatever you want, what would you say to your community? What do you need from your community? Because we leaders have expectations, are expected to do certain things, but also what is it that we expect from the community?
Peut-être je peux démarrer en français cette fois-ci.
Allez-y.
Et ça serait plutôt de continuer à s'ouvrir l'esprit. Je pense qu'on peut s'ouvrir l'esprit à l'intérieur de la communauté, à l'intérieur des Zamat, mais également entre communautés. On a beaucoup parlé du CoEJ, mais avec d'autres fédérations, avec la World Federation. Je pense que c'est l'ouverture d'esprit et ne pas rester uniquement dans son Zamat.
D'accord, très bien.
Toujours en français, et avec l'accord de mon président, ce que je vais dire, c'est que participons. Participons, parce que le travail de communauté, c'est le quotidien qu'on fait pour aider le Zamat à avancer. Et donc en fait, quand on fait le foyer, par exemple, quand on sert la nourriture aux gens qui viennent, quand on lave les défunts, quand on fait des réunions, on organise des événements pour les jeunes, tout cela en fait c'est participer au bon déroulement des tâches et faire avancer le Zamat. Donc participons tous ensemble, voilà, c'est pour les jeunes, c'est pour tout le monde.
Moi je reviendrai sur un point que j'ai déjà abordé, mais je pense que c'est vraiment important. C'est que chacun doit réfléchir à quel est son objectif dans la vie. Donc réfléchissez, chacun prenez le temps de réfléchir et trouvez-vous une voie. Trouvez-vous une voie pour atteindre votre objectif. Aujourd'hui, je pense qu'on n'a plus le temps et on ne prend plus le temps de réfléchir à ça.
Donc voilà, à tous ceux qui nous regardent aujourd'hui, vous avez des messages des 3 leaders de votre communauté. Participons. Quel est le but de notre vie? Et comme vous l'avez dit,
ouverture d'esprit.
Ouverture d'esprit, parce que avec le jugement, on n'y arrivera pas. Par contre, avec la curiosité, on ira très loin. So thank you very much to all 3 of you. This was a beautiful conversation. I know I've taken a lot away. I have grown so much in just a few minutes that we've exchanged today. And once again, thank you so much for your time and for being here.
Thank you very much.
Assalamu alaikum, dear viewers. This is the KHOJA Konnection podcast, growing through conversations. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. This is run by CoEJ, and press the notification button so that you can get all of our podcasts, and they are one after another amazing, exciting conversations.